A positive day to all my mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters. Now I'll be thinking, why am I doing this in this way? I'm a person who believes that life is all positive, negativity doesn't exist. Depression, frustration, sadness, anger, everything is generally created. Right? Have you ever noticed a small baby? What happens to a small baby? When the baby is born, you hit the baby, you give baby any negativity. It comes back to the same positivity. True? You hit a baby, the baby cries and forgets everything as if nothing has happened. And he comes back. So God and universe have created us that way. So my question to you is, why be an adult? If God has created us as a baby, why not live like a baby or die like a baby? But what we do, we are born like a baby, we live like an adult, and as we age, we slowly start being like a baby. You have seen your grandmother angry for no good reason? Right? Or forgiving everyone quite very quickly? If someone calls you a bad word, what happens? How dare he calls me a bad word? But if someone calls a child a bad word, he'll come back, hey, hug me, no. So what I'm trying to make you understand here is, if God and universe have created us that way, why are we changing? Right? Little bit about me. I'm a person who believes that life is all positive, negative doesn't exist. Everything what I do as a giving back to the society and community. Because I see you as my family. I see the whole world as my family. And if I see them as whole as my family, can I charge? Can I make money out of you? If a brother like you sitting here has a problem, do I say, pay me, then I'll solve the problem? So I went around all around this world giving these talks. So now I was talking to the team and you all wanted my story. So let me quickly tell you how it all started. In this concept called life is all positive, negativity doesn't exist. 25 years ago, I stood on the same stage. I don't know, most of you know I'm an alumni of Addis. 25 years ago, I stood there and my first talk was, school, attention, school standards. I was a sports secretary, right? My legs were shivering. Oh my God, such a big audience, school attendance, and I just ran back. That's the only talk I gave on the stage. Right? Nothing after that. So everything was great. As you know, I was a very happy-go-lucky guy. And most guys are kind of happy-go-lucky people. But then what happened is, we had a lot of strong friends. Everything was great. I was an athlete. I was one of the fastest guys in school. I was planning to get 5 gold in sports. Right? So I had this big ego which has built up because I was the fastest. My speed was equal to the super seniors. I was going. On the relay thing, my friend fell down. I tripped over him and I fell down. Slowly I had a muscle pull. My complete career on athletics was gone. Still in the 12th, I was running hard. Still I equaled the record, but never broke it. That with a broken back. I was like, sir came to me as, you could have broken it. I said, I tried my best. But then it didn't happen. So then what happens is, people have a lot of expectation. When you're a superstar or when you're doing great stuff in school, people have a lot of expectation. Everyone's expectation doomed. I couldn't do well in inter-school because in my 11th, I got the inter-school. I was a championship in Dubai. But this 12th was completely doomed. So you're completely broken at that time. Now I don't care, that was broken. It's good it happened. It was broken. Slowly you start to lose your friends. Slowly you start having issues with everything. Because everyone was yours because you were this top guy. No, I'm with him. So I said, I'm done with my friends. Right? I switched off my mobile for 2 years and decided to be the most successful man and be the most richest guy so that people will give me value. That's how it all started. So switching off your mobile for 2 years is not that easy. It's really crazy. But I thought, let me become someone first. As I always say to the youth, be someone first, then go after someone. Be someone first, then go after someone. Don't do it before. You tend to really mess it up. So what I did, this is again a tip for you people. Whatever dreams you have, go and search the skills, the education which you needed. So I was a happy-go-lucky guy. When you're completely down with life, what do? You go ask your father, Father, what do you want to become? So that time, my father said, go be a manager. So I was like, manager? At that time, a managing director was a big post. 25 years ago. These are all 25 years ago stories. So what I did, opened up the classified. What does a manager need? 20 to 30 years of experience and an MBA. I was like, 20 years of experience. If I finish my bachelor's, if I did my master's, then 20 years, I become manager at the age of 50. Man, I didn't want to be an old manager. Right? But what's going to happen? My children are going to enjoy with my money and I'm going to die. Or they're going to wait when I'm going to die. Right? So I was like, this is not going to happen. I want to be a manager much more earlier. So there is this 20 years of experience and an MBA to figure out. I was like, let me work and study and see what happens. So after Addis, I thought, let me work and study. So working and studying is not that easy. Now people even complain 16 hours of work and all these things. I'm always thankful to God and universe that I was able to work and study. So whenever you're doing two things together, this is another tip for you. Whenever you're doing two things together, you can't perform in line with people who are doing one thing. So if I'm working and studying, I'll be a little bit inferior in studies, I'll be a little bit inferior in my work. I've accepted that fact. So at the age of 18, I started working and studying. Did my bachelor's, my first job was a secretary's job. Second tip for you people, after whatever degree you get, or whenever you are, if you are getting a job, please take it. Don't think that I'm an engineer, I will only do an engineer's job. Get to anything what's available, free job, take it. Half people are sitting without any job. True? So when opportunity comes, just take it and focus on what is there for me to learn. So my first job, secretary. Got promoted to a depot administrator. Everything was great, doing my bachelor's. And how? Morning I was working, evening I was studying. Right? Now people say, how many hours? It all took 16 hours I was working and studying. Why? I want to finish that 20 years as quick as I can. So I worked. I got promoted. Then I got a new opportunity as a storekeeper. Right? Now storekeeper, senior depot administrator and a storekeeper was a new. But they paid me double the salary. I was like, double the salary, richest man in the world. That was my plan. So what do I have to do? Money versus this one. I went and discussed with my friends, few friends I had. Hey, double the salary. He said, go, money. I said, okay, fine. I went and asked my mom, what am I supposed to do? Hey, career is important. You are senior depot administrator. Mama, double the salary. Then, uncles and the aunties will come. People who are free, nothing to do, free advice. They came to me and told me, hey, don't focus so much on money. Uncle, auntie, what? Double the salary. Double the salary, no one can take. Right? So I went for the job. Storekeeping. And I was the most, extrovert guy. I was kept as if in a jail. Right? Where only people will come for parts. I was like, but then God and universe taught me how to stay calm, how to stay alone, how to stay composed. After that, I was into storekeeping, but I made sure I went and did other people's job also. Why I started doing other people's job? So I can learn the people's job. So I used to work as a storekeeper, working as a technician, working as a customer, started doing that. Everyone think that they could misuse me. So the customer support guy comes to me and told me that, can you do my job when I'm going on leave? I said, yes, give it to me. Without any pay, I did his job for 1 month. He resigned. After 1 month, who's the next best candidate? Me, I got the customer support. See, what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you learn the job, a guy who did all his education in commerce can be an engineer, right? So what I did, I started doing that, worked it, customer support. I was reporting the customer support manager. I was like, cool, I'm one step ahead from that, right? Started doing his job. Sir, you sit free, I will do your job. I started doing his job. The sales manager saw the customer support manager sitting very free. He figured out, I'm helping. Can you join my department? I said, why not? Promote me, I will join. Got the promotion. See, I never went for a formal interview. All my interviews were rigged, right? Because you started helping. After that, there was a big reorganization which happened, which slowly stepped in. I was going to be removed, but I had such a big team of support who have helped. They got me back. They changed the role. They changed the role from senior. They needed an engineer there because a sales engineer. They changed it to a technical sales representative. A guy in commerce gets a technical next to his name. I said, like, see friends, I'm close to be an engineer now. Then I had this new boss who I'm still working. The other stuffs which you see is the other side. But I want to tell you how Addis has got me here. How the system, if you really work hard, has got me here. Right? After that, I was doing this sales engineer's job. I got a new person who I work for a Canadian company now. I'm always thankful for that job because of which I could do really my mission. I had an interview. It took him 1 year to give me that job. Sometimes, as you go higher, it might take time for you to reach there. Got that job. Right now, I'm still working for the last 12 years in that company. They offered me promotion, but I didn't take it. Right? Because I had a bigger mission of Life is All Positive, which was born. How that was born? You know, once you're too successful in life, you tend to think that I'm enjoying the world was suffering. So I thought, okay, let me do something for this world. So I started thinking, you know, as you know, when you have this big idea, people will travel religious spots, right? So I went to temples, churches, dargahs, God, the answer, give me the answer. He never gave anything. I said, done with religions and all these stuffs. But then once I came back to school, met the supervisor of the school, Addis, right? And he told me one statement that today's generations are all gone. I'm done with them. The person who used to idolize in school, saying such a statement, got me really back. If he has given, someone has to stand up. So that's the first step, my light bulb clicked. Let me do something for the youth. So I started first on Facebook, 10, 15 years ago, Facebook was very big. Wrote my first article, over-attachment. It didn't go well. But over-attachment to lover picked up. Girlfriend, boyfriend, all these things, right? That picked up. So girls, boys, break up, don't know what to do. I'm sitting in depression, don't know what to do. The boy dumped me, don't know what to do. I feel like dying. So many kids started, and I ran an ad also, on that article. So every time I used to get like 10, 15 students messaging me, chatted for 2 years, showing them the path of how to get out of all these mental health issues, started doing that. Then when I traveled, people wanted to meet me. I said, okay, whenever I travel from work, let's meet up. So I started meeting. Then a teacher had a doubt. Can you clarify your doubts? I said, why not? I clarified a doubt. Can you do it for a school? I said, why not? And then I'm always thankful that the first session was me standing in the crowd, 400 girls. Now, one guy, first talk, God has given 400 girls. What am I supposed to do? So you start with all this motivation to talk positivity, rich guy, So I thought, let me do positivity. I got blanked out after 10 minutes. I said, what am I supposed to do after blanking? I said, hey, girls, you have any questions? Luckily, a girl asked a question. Luckily, I'm always thankful to her. Luckily, gave me the question, gave an answer, then slowly found out my sessions have moved into Q&A, where I tell them, you can ask me any question from birth to death. Any questions which is bothering you, irritating. Started doing that, slowly stepped up. What I'm trying to make you understand is, I'm still working. Right? I didn't leave. Many people tell, leave your job, go after your passion. I'm doing my passion now, doing my job also, taking care of the family also. I have a kid who's studying in Addis. Right? So what I'm telling you in summary, when life is all positive, you don't need to sacrifice or remove stuffs out of your life. Many people say, if your parents don't accept you, leave them, go after your dream. That's not what we are here. Most of the people right now are confused. Why? Parents don't understand, children don't understand. Generation gap. Scam. You know why generation gap exists? Both the parties don't want to improve, so let me blame generation gap. Right? So what is naturally happening, everyone is blaming, no one is improving, sit in the same spot we have. So what happens? Mother is given up, father is given up, the children have given up. There, maybe as a brother or as a son, I need to fill that gap. So then I started doing more sessions, then slowly I got corporate sessions, then lately I did it to IIT Dhanbad. It just went on and on and on. And now, my always friend, the last thing you have to do is a TEDx talk. Right? So that the world will also know. Here I am in front of you doing this TEDx talk. So what I'm trying to make you simply understand is that work, learn, only then the growth is there. And the last part is ask questions. Most of the people have stopped asking questions. It is like that. It is not like that. If there is a problem, ask. Right? And the other thing, you already know what to ask also. How many of you drink soft drinks? Raise your hand. Raise. Let me see. Put your hands down. How many know it's bad for health? Raise your hand. And you pray, God, give me good health. God is also confused what to do. So don't confuse the poor guy. You already know what needs to be done. Don't build up stories and everything else to justify your life that you are right. If you know what is wrong. The soft drink example is just an example of the negativity we are willingly doing. Life can only be positive if you stop willingly ignoring. I'm okay as a brother if you ignore. But my problem is, stop willingly ignoring. There, God is going to really hit you hard. That's it. Thank you. Hand it over.